problem is it's artificial because they artificially stop the water from going onto the land. So I want two things. I want voter ID for the people of California, and they all want it. Right now, you don't have voter ID. People want to have voter identification. You want to have proof of citizenship. Ideally, you have one-day voting, but I just want voter ID as a start, and I want the water to be released, and they're going to get a lot of help from the U.S.
President, you talked about conditions being placed on aid to California, voter ID and the like. Are there any conditions that you're going to put on aid to North Carolina?
We're going to do a lot for North Carolina. Yeah. They've been very slow. We're going to make up for lost time.
No conditions you're going to push for aid?
Well, in California, I have a condition. In California, we want them to have voter ID so the people have a voice, because right now the people don't have a voice because you don't know who's voting, and it's very corrupt. And we also want them to release the water. If they released the water, they wouldn't have had a problem. If they released the water when I told them to, because I told them to do it 7 years ago, if they would have done it, you wouldn't have had the problem that you had. You might not have even had a fire.
Breaking news. President Trump has just issued a bold ultimatum to California. No federal aid unless two key demands are met. During a press conference today, Trump laid out his conditions: voter ID for the people of California, and the water to be released. And they'll get a lot of help from the U.S. Trump has long criticized California's election system, calling it a fraud-ridden disaster, and insisting that voter ID laws are crucial to ensuring election integrity. His demand for voter ID is aimed at cracking down on what he claims to be widespread election fraud in the Golden State. But it's not just about elections. Trump is also taking aim at California's strict water regulations. Farmers in the state have been vocal for years about the water crisis, blaming environmental policies that restrict water flow to agricultural areas in order to protect certain species of fish. Trump's stance? Open the water flow to help struggling farmers and communities, or face the consequences. The response from California officials has been swift and defiant. Governor Gavin Newsom called Trump's conditions blackmail and vowed to challenge any effort to tie federal relief to such demands. Meanwhile, Trump supporters argue that he's simply demanding common-sense policies that benefit all Californians. As California continues to struggle with severe drought conditions and ongoing challenges related to election security, this ultimatum has sparked intense debate across the country. Is Trump using federal aid as leverage for much-needed reforms? Or is he holding Californians hostage for political gain? What do you think? Should California comply with Trump's demands? Or is this overreach? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates.
So he was asked twice what conditions for aid to California would be. And he said twice that they have to pass a voter ID law to get aid for the wildfires. I mean, just imagine for 1 second if I said Biden was conditioning aid to Florida, saying they had to remove their voter ID law to get aid from the federal government. It's unbelievable in a way that I am flabbergasted. I don't even know what to say. It's just freaking insane.
So Donald Trump just suggested he would withhold federal aid from California and would deny them critical disaster relief unless they change their voter laws. Here is what Trump said to a reporter this morning in North Carolina, quote, "I want to see two things in Los Angeles: voter ID so that the people have a chance to vote, and I want to see the water released ... throughout the state. After that, I will be the greatest president that California has ever seen," end quote. First of all, Donald Trump lost to Kamala Harris in Los Angeles by over 30 points, and his plea to enact voter ID laws is just another MAGA term for disenfranchising the vote. Secondly, this has got to be the most unpresidential thing I've ever heard. Donald Trump basically just said that he is only going to send help to Los Angeles, a city where homes are burning down and people are being displaced, if they enact his MAGA policies. This is why us Californians do not like Donald Trump.
Trump just said he will not give federal aid to help rebuild Los Angeles unless California adopts voter ID and how water flows. Now, with the water flow thing, it's hard to say if Trump is lying or not. It appears more like he just does not know what he is talking about. But on the voter ID demand, it's more interesting that Republicans feel like they can make demands of California. One, it's completely unrelated. And two, when the southern states face disaster time and time again, no one says a word about how California subsidizes states like Mississippi and West Virginia. Right? Like, if you look into it, for every dollar Mississippi pays in taxes, they get $2.50 back. Whereas for every dollar California pays to the government, it only gets 65 cents back. I mean, last year, California paid the government $85 billion that it didn't get back. And look, California accounts for nearly 20% of this country's tax revenue, whereas America's 12 southern states combined only account for 22%. And I don't know if you know some assholes that I haven't seen, but I've never seen California call for the South to be punished or to put terms on disaster aid. And so with all that said, I think, one, I think it's important to remember no one holds on to power forever. You definitely reap what you sow. So, is this a game you want to play? Two, you also have a lot of people going, what the hell is going on? Because Trump today said that we may be getting rid of FEMA.
Trump and Gavin Newsom exchanged some words in Los Angeles today, y'all. Make sure you like the video and watch this.
There's an exchange there. There you see the president and the First Lady Melania Trump with Governor Gavin Newsom. Let's listen to see if they make any comments here.
So we just left North Carolina a little while ago. We have that in very good shape. We have the congressman in charge and Michael Watley, and we're going to do a lot of work. We have the Army Corps of Engineers working as they are here. And I think you're going to see some very big progress. They left them high and dry. And now we're going to be taking a little tour with some of the people from the area. I appreciate the governor coming out and meeting me, Kevin. Thank you very much. And we'll be talking a little bit. We want to get it fixed. We want to get the problem fixed. And there'll be some ways, but it's like you got hit by a bomb, right?
Yeah.
Like you got hit by a bomb. Would you like to say something?
Most importantly, thank you for being here. It means a great deal to all of us, not just the folks in Palisades, the folks in Altadena that were devastated. We're going to need your support. We're going to need your help. You were there for us during COVID. I don't forget that. And I have all the expectations that we'll be able to work together to get this speedy recovery.
We're going to get it done. Tremendous numbers of lives have been affected. A lot of real estate's been affected. Nobody's ever probably seen anything like this. You can almost say since the Second World War, when you think of it. I mean, nothing like this has happened. And we're going to get it fixed, so we'll get it permanently fixed, so it can't happen again. And again, we'll be talking a little bit later, and we'll get it worked out, okay?
I appreciate it, Mr. President.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Both of you have disagreed a lot over the past week over what has happened in this state. How do you plan to...
We got to get it finished. We're looking to get something completed. And the way you get it completed is to work together. It's the governor of the state. And we're going to get it completed. They're going to need a lot of federal help. Unless you don't need any, which would be okay.
We're going to need a lot of federal help.
So we're going to take care of things. Okay?
I have all the confidence in the world we'll work that out.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. I guess some of you are coming with us, and some of you not. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll see you.
Let me know what you think about that in the comments. What do you think they said? Make sure you hit that like button right there. Hit the follow button. And I'll see you on the next one.
Donald Trump is refusing to provide disaster aid to California for the horrific wildfires unless California has a voter ID requirement in voting, totally unrelated to the disaster, but something Republicans like to have because it creates problems for minorities who want to vote. Regardless of your position on voter ID, and I'm happy to, honestly, I'm kind of in the middle on the topic. It has nothing to do with the disaster in California. Billions of dollars in damage. Hundreds of thousands of people displaced. People lost their homes, their livelihoods. And Trump is saying he's not going to give them the federal disaster aid that we give everybody, Democrat or Republican, North or South, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a fire, whether it's a tornado, whether it's a flood. We help our fellow Americans, and we don't do a litmus test on what your politics are. But because Californians vote Democratic in the presidential election and didn't vote for Trump, he's going to cut off their money unless he gets some blood. unless he gets some payment, something out of them. This is absolutely disgusting. And by the way, it also means Alabama, Texas, and Florida can kiss their disaster funding goodbye when Democrats come back if they do this, because then future disaster funding is going to be gone for everybody, which is, again, horrific and horrifically un-American and un-Christian.